Okay, hello Earthlings and all aligned sentient beings and races and things like that. I have you all joining me because I'm doing a veg cook down today, which is something that I have to do more and more in my life these days. Basically, I have a ton of vegetables that I kind of pick up as I go along, make into soups, make into stews, but if I don't, they kind of pile up in my refrigerator, and at least once every 2 weeks or so, before I lose them all, before they go bad, I cook them down. Sometimes I add cheese to them, which is what I'm definitely going to be doing today. Sometimes I put them into puff pastries, which I'm not doing today because this is good enough without it. But yeah, today I have, to get used, I have some Belgian endives that need to be used. I've got some trimmed leeks, all from Trader Joe's. Some green beans, which we're going to be going light on. Some broccoli, fresh, and some I had from a bag a little while ago. I don't know if we're going to get to this today because I don't want to use all the vegetables, but I've got broccoli florets. It's a veggie blend, a stir-fry veggie blend with Napa cabbage, bok choy, and snow peas, and broccoli. Oh, that one is actually quite good. I'll probably use that. This one is a mix of broccoli, Brussels sprouts, red cabbage, kale, carrots, and snow peas. Now I'm going to saute these, so I'm not quite sure that the cabbage and everything is going to be exactly what I want. So I might just not use these. Did I also say I had asparagus? I had asparagus. I have some spinach that is bought fresh and needs to be used. And weirdly, I got these today. Someone gave them to me today. They're Trader Joe's baby broccolis, and they're these they've got these little kind of flowers at the end of them, yeah, they're not like broccoli rabe. They're actually say that they're baby broccolis. Here, I'm going to open them. Let's get a closer look at them because I've never worked with these before. Yeah, so that's what they look like, and it looks like they actually are baby broccolis. So we'll give it a try. It's the only unknown today. I've cooked with almost everything else. So basically what I do, I said I saute everything, put a little cheese in, chop it up real fine. So to start out, the one thing that I'm unsure of today is I mistakenly, and I know it sounds like I have a hate on for organic things, and a little bit I do. I mistakenly ordered some organic onions the other day. And I have onions down here that have been there for 5 months, and they're perfectly good to use today. This, I had about a bag of probably 9 of them left. I bought them 2 weeks ago, and they all feel soft. I don't know if it's even going to be usable, but I'm going to start out with an onion because that's going to be the first thing to go into my my pan to get soft, and then we'll move on to some garlic. And I think I'm going to move this trash can just a little closer to me because I'm going to be doing a lot of trimming and trailing today. Okay, so let's get into this. This onion is growing beautifully, though, I will say. All right, let me lower this a little. Oh, I will also say that today I went to start doing this 2 times, and one time I didn't have any pants on, and the second time, something else was going on the second time. Okay, this onion looks okay. It's got a little bit of a black area on it. Not really black, just looks like a little dirt. But that's gone. So yeah, so I'm glad we'll get to use this. Yeah, the second time I tried to make the video, I realized that my phone didn't have a charger on it. Alright, so I'm going to trim these up. I don't think you guys need to watch me trim up any onions. Not feeling particularly chatty today. So, I'll do this, get some onions and garlic ready, prepare some of the other stuff, and we'll come back when I feel like I have something worth showing, or something important to say, or something not important to say that you might find entertaining, or whatever, that I might find entertaining. You know, one of the things that I did want to talk about, well, 2 things actually, just finishing up these onions, which are beautiful. I have to give them credit. The organic onions are chopping up gorgeous. Anyway, one is that I love this apartment that I'm in. It's in a horrible it's it's the most dangerous building in the county that I live in here in New York currently. Can't wait to get back to Canada. But I love it. It's a brand new building. Excuse me with that. But it has the nicest kitchen of any apartment I've ever lived in. Literally, 3/4 of the space of it is all kitchen, which I love. So I found a much, so the thing is, my staying here has been part of a grant that I received. And it was because after my wife and daughter died, you know, I was in a bit of a pickle. I wasn't really capable of working, and I had some problems. I'm getting past them right now. But anyway, so I really, you know, needed some help with housing, and they gave me a grant, and this was one of the places they had on their list. And because it happens to be in the middle of the downtown of the city that I live in, which is Ithaca, I have no problem saying it, in New York, it's literally right in the center of downtown, and I don't have a car, so it was really handy for me to move in here. Plus, just 1 second, I will also tell you that I'm originally from New York City, and I grew up in Queens in both good and bad neighborhoods, but this place is dangerous as they say it is. If you just have a modicum of intelligence, I have never had a single problem with anyone who lived here. Had a problem with someone who came into the elevator off the street one day, but that's neither here nor there. Certainly not caused, but I know how to deal with it, and most of the people know me. I'm a nice old guy, pet their dogs, hello, hello, but I don't get involved with anything. I don't, you know, I go into my apartment, I shut the door. If I hear crazy shit happening outside, I let it go, don't get involved, don't peek my head up. Best thing I'll do for is maybe call the police, but I won't go out and find out what it's about. But anyway, this summer, that grant was going to end. And at the same time, I didn't want to be looking for an apartment, a new place to live, 10 minutes before I had to, you know, metaphorically 10 minutes before I had to leave this one, because this one wasn't getting extended. And I needed, especially to find something I could afford. So I ended up finding a great place. It's 1/3 my income, which is very affordable, but it has such a small kitchen, it's almost non-existent. And you'll see it because I'm going to be moving there in like 2 weeks. So yeah, I mean, I keep thinking it's in a great place. Everything's lovely about it. It's got a great community. They do all sorts of little cook-offs and little things, soup making contests, all perfect stuff for me. Like almost like an over 55 place, you know, or a retirement place. The thing is that I can't get past the fact that that kitchen is so small, and I'm literally, it's got a sink here, space for maybe a chopping board on my left, space maybe for a microwave on my right or something like that, and then behind me there are cabinets, and when I say behind me, I mean there. Like, so I've got here, and then there's a sink, and that's it. Everything, my Instant Pot, my coffee maker, my water kettle, my, I don't know, like my air fryer, it's gonna all have to go kind of into the living room. I'm gonna have to like get a long flat table and put those things in there, because I'm not gonna, like, I need space to do things. I'm not gonna like go without my pressure cooker for as long as I live there. So I'm worrying about how I'm gonna set it up, but it's in a lovely place. Like I said, the community is great, but the kitchen has become so important to me recently that it's something that I'm really stressing over. So anyway, I've cut up some onion, beautiful organic onion. I will say it is beautiful. And I'm gonna put it in the pan first with some olive oil. And then before I put this on the flame or on the heat or whatever, oh, also it has one of those horrible electric ranges, not with a nice glass top stove, like coils. Like, I mean, I'd like to either have gas or have the type of stove I have here now where it has a nice glass top on it. But coils, it's just, I don't like it. I don't like cooking with them. I mean, if I'm going to have actual flame that I can, you know, light alcohol, you know, things that I can do with class and stuff I learned how to cook on, that's one thing. Or otherwise, I like these conductive ones, but I'm just, and the stove, it's like literally looks like a dollhouse stove. It's about this wide. My current stove is about this wide. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really stressing about the kitchen. I have to be honest about it. I really am. So I'm going to take out a little white wine to put in this when I get the veg going. I've decided that with all the great bags of veggie I have, especially that stir fry one, I should maybe make this into a stir fry, and just use all, because I've already got more vegetable. Like if I'm gonna, that's the other thing I meant to talk to you about. I have gotten rid of my old frying pan. It got to the point where it was too chopped up, and every time I used it, it just started smoking so much that it would almost set the alarm off. Like, I got real concerned. So I got rid of that. It was old. I got it used, and I put some fairly good mileage. I've got this beautiful new, it's not new, I got this from the Circulon one. I've used it before. It's got a nice circular texture inside, and it's almost like a half a wok style, so I do like that. Okay, I was going to get the olive oil. Alright, let's get that in there. But I am going to cut up the other veg first. I just want to get this ready to go. Alright. And let me season that with a little bit of, I'm preparing to saute. I'm not actually sauteing, I'm preparing to saute. I've got some salt in there, got some black pepper in there, and I want some garlic powder as well as the garlic in there. So let me just get some of that. That is onion powder, no. Garlic powder. We'll just put a little bit in there. And then, like I said, I've been hearing recently everywhere on the internet, you know, that you should not cook your onions and your garlic together, because the because the garlic has a tendency to burn first if you do that, or fast. So I've never experienced that in my life, but since I've had like 900 people saying it's true, I guess it's true. So what I'm going to do is I have some actual fresh garlic, like not fresh, but some cloves of garlic. But I'm again going to use this peeled garlic just because it's such a pleasure. I don't have to peel it and bang my my chef knife down or anything. I'm just going to chop this up, and then we're going to get to the rest of the actual cooking. I want to use not like I've got too many vegetables to use all of it, but I have some that I want to put in certain amounts. So it's very good, I think, that I'm going to plan to do a stir fry tomorrow with the rest of it, so I don't feel like I have to be pressured to get rid of all of it today. I will be right back. Alright, so we've got these onions on. They do look beautiful. Maybe I should take back what I said about organic onions. I will tell you one thing though, the one thing about these glass top stoves is as I'm chopping or have a peel of something, they look like you've been dropping things on them from the underground so fast. Just by chopping up some onions and some garlic, I already had to clean it twice, so it didn't look like I lived in a cave somewhere. Nothing like the smell of onions starting to fry in olive oil. Come on. These do take a bit to come up to heat, but once they do, they're excellent. They're very good to control with the heat. It's very easy to get the heat into and out of the pan. I find that these types of ranges do have a lot of control over what heat gets to your into your frying pan. All right, starting to fry good here. All right, be right back. I've got the onions here on a low simmer. They're almost going to be translucent in a second. Then I'm going to quickly grab in the garlic without trying to knock this tripod over. There's the garlic. I've got this on a very low simmer. Like I said, these stoves are very good for that. Also because it's smoking quite a bit, I just want to make sure that you don't burn the base of it and get your olive oil tasting like crap first thing out. You want to make sure that you're taking your time. I'm going to put a little wine in this right now because the onion and the garlic is so amazing smelling. I can't even dare to not smell it anymore with the wine. There we go. Perfect. I have to say, I do like the texture of this new pan that I'm using, but I do think that I'm worried that the little tiny circular grooves that are embedded on it, if it might not catch eggs a little bit, or, you know, just hold food to it a little time. I'm sure someone thought this out very well, because it does look like it was a very expensive pan when it was new, and it's in beautiful shape. I have to look up this brand online, and it operates perfectly. I'm sure they designed it that way for a reason. I just don't know what the reason is, and I'd like to find out. Oh, that smells amazing. Just gonna let the garlic cook in for a few more minutes there. Might as well use the last of this wine. Either that or drink it. There we go. Oh yeah. That's only the second one of those little tiny airplane-sized wine bottles that I think they're a little bigger. There are probably two of those airplane-sized. They're the only two I've used since I moved here. My daughter and my wife were such serious wine drinkers that when I tried to bring cooking wine into the house, I had to. It was a little bit of a cat and mouse game. All right. Oh, it smells amazing. All right. You can listen to me say it smells amazing for another 10 minutes, or I'll just come back when I'm done with this part. Okay, every time I've made this dish in the past, the asparagus has really been the shining element. So I'm going to make sure that I give myself enough asparagus, excuse me, in this dish. The first time I did it, I really only took stuff from the top, and I ended up wasting a lot of it. But at the same time, I don't want to get to the very bottom, because it does get a little bitter and coarse. All right, that's good enough. Yeah. These are in pretty much a good size now. I'm just going to give them a little bit more of a dicing, just to make some of the pieces from further down than the tip kind of size up, because the tips of these, they break up very, very finely, but the rest of the plant is not quite that fine. It still works out every time. All right, that should be good for that. Put this stuff. Do I want any more in there? No, I think that should be enough for dinner tonight. This was the range I just heated on, so I'm letting it cool down. Okay, let's get out some regular broccoli. This stuff has to be used. It's the final bit of a 3-pound bag that I got for free, and I got it because there was a typo in the printing on it. So the supermarket that was going to sell it, they just didn't want to sell it anymore. That's all that's good in there. So we'll use this. Yeah, that's fine. And I have some fresh broccoli as well if I want to add a little bit more, and there's some in some of those bags of mixed vegetables as well. This isn't a very complicated dish, just so you know. It's just it's got a lot of things depending upon how much veg I have, and I've been very aggressive in getting vegetables for myself because when I decide that I'm gonna make soup or stews or whatever, and I have them everywhere, I eat much better than when I don't have them on hand. And a lot of times I get it for free or for very little money because I get some SNAP benefits. All right, so what else are we going to put in here now? I've got the asparagus, I've got some broccoli in there. How about some of that leek and endive? Let's see. Where is that? Oh, and spinach for sure. Okay. Here's that baby broccoli. Here's that spinach. I'm glad I'm getting to this spinach because it otherwise wouldn't have another day in it, but it's still perfectly good. I did have a couple more days in it, it just wouldn't have another couple of days of it at full flavor without being noticeably on the edge of going bad. Okay, where's those endives and where are those other things? Hang on. Okay, I've got all my veg sorted. Just gonna chop up this spinach. I'm trying to decide. So a lot of times I just use the butter and the garlic and obviously the wine when I have it. And I don't really put much else in it other than some cheese. I don't really like to add any type of soy or dark sauce to it because I go out of my way to have these veg as fresh as I can get them. I don't let them go too long. If they do, I get rid of them. You know, I like the vegetables to kind of taste to be there. I'm not trying to, I guess if I'm using a lot of onion and garlic, I am smothering it a bit, but I'm smothering it in onion and garlic. There's nothing better for that. But sometimes I add more things to it, and sometimes I just let it by itself, and I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do today. Okay, that's good for spinach. Let's get that in there. Let's get some of this leek out. I've always, leeks are like a large green onion, I'm guessing. I think they're an onion, right? All right. Try it back. I don't want this thing to become a leek stew, so I'm only going to use part of one of these. I do love them, though. See how hard these are to dice up. They look like they're ready to slide off the cutting board. There we go. Come on. Showing my shitty knife skills. Yeah, these are my shitty knife skills. And that's right, even after being a cook for like 2 or 3 years there. Good. That's good. I haven't cooked with it for a long time, so no reason to use it all. Taste do change, and we'll do one endive. Oh, these are so lovely to cook. I love to cut. I love the sound of them. So crunchy and satisfying, man. Oh, and they dice this up so nice with such nice tiny pieces. All right, let me think here for a second. Whoop, don't want to melt my cutting board there. Ah, I guess we need to use some of this. I opened it. Let's use some of it. I'm not exactly sure how to use this. I know you don't cook the leaves, or I can't imagine you cook the leaves. It's funny, I keep wanting to treat it like broccoli rabe. So I think we'll do the stems and the florets like we would with any broccoli. But just the stems that are up here though. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Look at that. Alright, that should be enough since it's a new thing. Alright, I think we're ready to saute. I don't think I'll be adding any more vegetables. Let me just get cleaned up here. Be right back. Okay, so I'm just actually going to move to the actual cooking of stuff phase of this. I was thinking about what, if anything, I want to put into it, and I decided I wanted to add some stuff to it this time that I normally don't. So what I'm thinking is I was going to put in some hot sesame oil, but I actually think I'm going to use some regular toasted sesame oil. I have these Indian chilies that I was thinking of using one. I have these Mexican arbol chilies that I was thinking of using. And I have these Szechuan chilies, as well as Szechuan chili seeds that I all considered using. But at the end of the day, I wanted something a little bit more complex. So I got these Melindas. It's a fire-roasted garlic and habanero pepper sauce. And I've had them before. They are substantially, they're pretty hot. But I'm not going to use it to the point where it's going to blow my head off, because this is going to be like a day or two of eating for me before I have to cook the rest tomorrow. So, yeah. So I'm just going to put in some of the... Now, the one thing I wish I would have done, I wish I would have known, was I wish I would have known that I was going to use sesame oil, because I may not have chosen to use olive oil as the base. I may have chosen something a little bit more neutral. This olive oil, it's got a little bit of fragrance to it, whereas normally when I cook with canola or any of those things, it's completely neutral tasting. So yeah, so I'm going to put some of this in 1 second. Sorry, I didn't want you guys to hear me snorkeling on my tissue there, on my handkerchief. Okay, so I'm going to put some of this sesame oil in. I don't want to use all the sesame oil, but I may need some more oil in this bad boy. Huh. Okay, we've got that there. Huh. Okay, I've got some of this stuff here. The it's funny, the cap's coming off, but not the actual cap you're meant to use. There we go. Oh God, I hate this. There we go. All right, I don't want to add too much of this, but I want to make sure I get enough in. Shit. So, what might be obvious to everyone is that I haven't been really cooking for quite a while. I used to do it quite a lot. Like I said, I've worked as a chef before. As a cook, not a chef, sorry, before. And I did enjoy it, but I did different work for many years. And then when I was married to Jeanette, my wife, there were several reasons why she needed to be in the house during the day. And so it just made sense for her to cook and not myself. Because I was working, you know, in an office job, out of the, and not even an office job. I was working in warehouses. I don't want to even say that I was working in office. I was working in an office job about half the time. The other half I was selling car parts or working in a warehouse or something like that. All right, let's see. Where's my stirring thing? There's a stirring thing, there's a chopstick. I think this might be called for both the stirring and the chopstick. Let me get this mayo out of the way. And, okay. Alright, let's get this stuff on the heat. I'm going to turn it on a low heat because I don't want to... Anyway, so, then, after Jen and Rachel died in the fire, I ended up alone. I mean, my daughter Kirsten is still around. I had to leave Canada for a couple reasons. Basically, I needed to have a mental breakdown with someone who I knew I was safe to do it with. And I did that, and because of various financial issues and things, I ended up here in New York. Now, I grew up in New York. I lived for a good part of my life in Queens, in Manhattan, in Brooklyn. I lived about 7 years in Brooklyn, about 7 years in the Bronx, about 15 years in Queens. I've lived in Manhattan. The only borough I haven't lived in was Staten Island, and that's because Staten Island sucks, I'll be honest with you. Then, when I was 16, sorry, I'm going back and forth in time here, but when my parents split up, we moved to upstate New York, to Woodstock, so I'm not new to the New York area by any means. But then I moved up here, and I really wanted the ability, just 1 second, I really wanted the ability to do what my wife and what my cousin Shelly does. You know, we'd sit down there and I'd be like, hey, I only have these 4 random items. It's almost like the cooking show where they give you the mystery box and you have to figure out how many dishes you can make. And I knew that, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not going to be running to live with another person for quite a long time. Certainly not in partnership. I may have a roommate or something, or a friend, but I'm not going to be in partnership for anyone, I don't think. I mean, those can be famous last words. But, yeah. So, I really wanted to be able to cook for myself. I didn't want to, I mean, I used to have a weight problem, then I had weight loss surgery, and I took care of the majority of it to the point where it nearly killed me. But you know, I wasn't eating good when my wife didn't cook good for me. And knowing that I was going to be alone, it would be a little bit too easy for me to, you know, eat myself into an even earlier grave than I was going to. So I really wanted the ability to have a couple of ingredients and be able to make anything from it. And I also wanted to do what I'm doing now, which is try and really make a lot of good, you know, have not everything based on meat and cheese, and be able to look at a lot of vegetables and really work them into some creative things. And I'm not there yet. Something that really helped change me out was my Instant Pot. Believe it or not, that thing has really radically changed my relationship with food, because, you know, in that thing, I can take a super stew, a stew that would normally take me, you know, 3-4 hours of simmering and cooking and boiling and checking and doing. I can dump the ingredients in there and have it in 25 minutes. So that was amazing, and it really opened up a lot to me. So I've really been trying to, you know, be more of a foodie and you know, really expand myself and relearn how to cook again. Because I knew how to cook as a line cook. So I could make you 500, you know, peanut sautés in a row if I knew that component A was in this drawer, you know, everything was in its proper place. But I really didn't have the ability to look at food and really say, this will go well with this, I can make this. And that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm doing this YouTube thing because I have another project that I want to do on YouTube, and hopefully you guys will be hearing about it soon. And hopefully with my new place in this tiny ass non-existent kitchen, I'm still going to be able to do it, because I would be really crushed if not. And I just wanted to get accustomed to making videos and putting videos up, and I'm still waiting to get a Windows computer so that I can start doing my editing. I use a Chromebook now. Yeah. And yeah, so that should happen very soon, and I'm moving within a week or two. And so I'm definitely not an expert cooker by any means, even though I make all these cooking videos. They help me. They also help me look at what I'm doing, how I'm appearing on camera, how I'm moving, you know, when my fly's open, just to try and be conscious of things like this. There have unfortunately been many good videos that I haven't posted because something was going on in the background, you know, it looked messy or something, you know, my fly was open, just something like that. All right, I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more on this. There we go. Get a little bit of a simmer on it. It's not going to need much cooking, but it does need to cook, and I feel like I'm sitting here just stirring with these chopsticks like a moron under. There we go. Now it's sizzling. All right. I don't even know why I'm using chopsticks. They were just the first thing I landed on. Though they do help me pick up little pieces and move them around. I could just as easily do that with this spatula. I've also got one of those here. I guess I've already dirtied the chopsticks, so we may as well stick with those. All right. So it is sizzling. It smells magnificent. Hope this video came out okay. I don't know if you guys, like, if the camera was blocked when I was doing all that chopping and stuff. It was a new camera angle I'm trying. Let me just give this stuff a quick taste. That's quite good. It's also quite close to being ready. Yep. A little bit more cooking to soften some of the broccoli up, but yep. Yeah. Good, and I don't have it too hot. Okay. I've run out of things to say at the moment. You know what I would like to use is a little bit more. Let's see if I have it easy to reach here. Let's see if it's easy to reach. I almost always have jarred garlic within easy reach. And this time I don't. Although I did come up with some chili crisps. Damn it. Damn it. Alright. No jar garlic. I'm not going to make you guys sit around while I look for it for an hour. I know I've got some in the other drawer. In fact, let's see if I can pull some out of here. Or I just left them. There we go. Let's see if I can get into this easy enough. There we go. Perfect. This is the stuff in oil and not water, which I appreciate more. And I think just a touch more of this will really do it well. Not that much, just a little bit. All right, let's keep stirring and stirring. Get that garlic moved in there. The other thing that the new place doesn't have, and I have to tell you, it's really helped me out because I'm a bad housekeeper, is in this house I have a dishwasher. And being able to get things mostly clean and then put them in the dishwasher and have them come out perfect has really been such a pleasure. This place has no room, and like I said, half the working room is going to be taken up by my dish rack now that I think about it, because I'm going to have to put the dishes to dry somewhere, especially because it doesn't have a dishwasher. I'm going to move this off the heat for a second and just see where we are with our broccoli here. A little bit more time. Alright, I have nothing to say for a moment, so I'm just going to put you guys on pause. You know, I realize as I'm trying to cook this down, excuse me, that usually I put my broccoli and carrots into my Instant Pot to steam and soften them. So if I put them up to pressure for even 1 minute, when they come out they'll be soft to cut. And I didn't do that. I just put the broccoli right in. So I'm sitting here wondering why this broccoli is remaining so hard and why I'm having to cook it for so long. And that's what it is. I usually make my broccoli and carrots pre-soft. But that's okay. It's coming out. I just had to cook it a lot more, but it is getting a lot more marinated and good. And the spicing I put in there, the hot sauce is really nice in the background. I've got the proper spices, proper salt, pepper, everything. And then I'm going to do the thing that will probably alienate everyone, and that is I'm going to add, after it's done cooking, I've taken it off the heat, I'm going to add some feta cheese to it, and some other, whatever cheese I have around. Today I happen to have a little bit of pepper jack and a little bit of cheddar, but I think we're going to try and go mainly with the pepper jack, and then serve it up and eat it. So I know I just said I want to make it so I'm not eating, you know, cheese all the time and meat, but this is as an accoutrement. And the other thing I'm going to be eating as my main is I've got 3 beautifully fresh avocados that are at their perfect freshness, and I want to eat one of those as well. So I'll probably have the avocado as a side dish, and let's see, I think this may be soft enough now. Well, that is. Let me get a bit bigger of the broccoli. Yep, I think we're there. Okay. I'm going to turn the heat all the way off. I'm going to take the fan off of the heating element and move this lit cigarette down here. And I'm going to give it just a minute or two to cool down. Then I'm going to add a bit of the feta and a bit of the cheese, and I'll bid you a good adieu. In fact, I'll be right back, so I'm just waiting for this to cool down. No reason we need to stand here awkwardly. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to now add in probably most of the rest of this box of feta. Maybe not, there's a lot of feta. Well, hang on, you guys should be able to see this. It's the exciting conclusion to this very special edition. There we go. That's enough of that. Now I'm going to get the pepper jack cheese. I'm going to get the pepper jack cheese. I'm just going to grab the pepper jack cheese that I left here, right here, where I know exactly where it was. The pepper jack cheese. Here we go. That's the unopened one. This is the open one. Excellent. I love good shredded cheese. I know it's not supposed to be as good because of the stuff they use, like to make sure that things don't stick together, and I'm using Walmart's brand at that, but it is incredibly convenient, and I do like the pepper jack cheese. Is just delicious. I love it. But I also like their Fiesta blend. I like cheddar. I'm really a huge cheese person. You could ask my friend Laurel. She'd tell you I'm a huge cheese person. Okay, so we're going to let that get a little bit melted. And a little bit of a melange. Spice melange. There we go. And I think you guys have seen the majority of what I have to do today. So all that's left is for me to put the veg that I didn't use in the refrigerator and then serve this up. And so, thanks so much for tuning in. I know I keep forgetting to do this, but could you please like, subscribe, or comment? Tell me anything you want. Yell at me, do whatever, say I look horrible because I'm a toothless old, whatever. Just anything you do on it makes it better, like it helps the analytics. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.